because New York City's transportation policies have prioritized the swift movement of cars, trucks, and buses. Today, we are announcing the creation of Families for Safe Streets to advocate for policies that will prevent others from being killed or maimed by reckless driving in dangerous conditions.
7 years ago, I stood on these steps, and Vision Zero was an idea that had come across the ocean from Sweden. And I said, gathered here, you know, in Sweden they have a target for the year 2020, 0 fatalities due to automobiles hitting pedestrians and cyclists. We could do the same thing. We're New York. We can lead. It has taken 7 years, and in that time, 2,100 people have died, 28,000 have had life-altering injuries. That could be any one of you, that could be me, that could be your child, your mother, your husband.
In my case, it's been 5 years, and obviously I've made some traction in 5 years, but I cried so much, I've cried gallons and gallons, and my life will never be the same. I don't think the old Dave Shepard will never reappear again. So this is something that I don't think any family should have to go through.
There's nothing worse than losing your child who you love more than anything in the world and have raised and talked to every day for 23 years, and I don't even know how you recover from that, and I can't say that we have.
We never will. It's the worst tragedy that could ever happen, and the longing for her every day is debilitating. We're just barely surviving right now.
We as Families for Safe Streets gather here today to prevent others from pain we have endured, because no one should ever have to experience watching their child being resuscitated in the emergency room and later be told, sorry, we have to stop.
I think we're very hopeful of what's happening here. Especially, we know how difficult it is for families to come and speak out about what happened, because it constantly opens up the wound, and it's very important for us to get together and to express that feeling, what's been lost, and let everyone know that, you know, a tragedy, there's something like this that actually could be prevented.
Yeah, and I think there's strength in numbers. And on that note, we encourage people who've lost loved ones through traffic violence to contact Families for Safe Streets, because there's definitely a lot to do.
You would be very angry if your little sister or your mom or your father was killed by someone who just didn't pay attention and got off with an oops.
The number of families that are suffering, the number of young people killed has reached a tipping point. You must pay attention, everybody. Listen to our stories, understand what's going on. We have an epidemic of traffic violence here. If 300 people died each year and 4,000 people had life-altering injuries, if it was caused by West Nile virus or polio, the CDC would be all over it. People would be afraid to go out of their houses. But we go along as though it's not happening. It's like a public secret.
My life is not same after that. My little boy, he was so attached to his brother, big brother. He became different. He became withdrawn, and our life hasn't been the same anymore. It's been 6 years. I mean, I thought time would heal and everything. It didn't.
On October 8th, our son Sammy was killed in the intersection in front of our home. If the speed limit had been 20 miles per hour, the collision could likely have been avoided. And even if unavoidable, at slower speeds, Sammy's injuries would most certainly have been less severe, and he might be alive today.
The streets of New York are just not safe. It should be a pedestrian-oriented city, but it's really not. Cars seem to have more right-of-way than the pedestrians. So we're hoping that the mayor's Vision Zero will really come to pass, and we're going to do everything we can to help.
We're going to change the culture. We're going to send a message. So this group is powerful. Look at Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and look at what they did. I'm sure when they started their campaign, years ago, people said, hey, you know, you're not going to reduce drunk driving. And look what they've
I
done.
think we really want like a paradigm shift of how people think about driving, and I think Vision Zero is a step in that direction with its consequences, with red light cameras, with the enforcement, the street design, and the education. So it's a step in the right direction. We're looking for change quickly.